I'm Nick Dawes, founder of Dawes Academic Consulting, LLC. Some of these kids, they'll message me through my online platform or through text to tell me how their test went, or to say, oh yeah, I finished this project and I got it turned in. And I'm like, that's great, awesome, I'm glad that you got that done. Did you sleep last night as a result? And sometimes it's like, oh, I went to bed at 2 in the morning. I'm like, don't do that. Like, what can we do to do that better? And I like to share my own personal sort of experience as a student with them. That's another thing that sets me apart as an educator is I try to remain cognizant of what life was like for me as a student, because I wasn't always the best student, and I don't feel like my teachers always knew how to get the best work out of me. I didn't always see the point to what I was supposed to be doing, and so if I didn't see the point, I was like, why should I put in that energy? Or I know like some things that were struggles for me, I can always check in with a student and be like, this was hard for me as a kid, like, is this something that's hard for you too? And, I can usually say, I bet that it's hard for XYZ reason, or I bet no teacher's ever explained to you what this word means, or what they mean when they ask for, let's say, more analysis. They'll say, analysis, question mark, in the margin of the essay, and a lot of students are like, I don't even know what that means, or what that is, and they just sort of, oh, okay, whoops, and move on with life. I don't even like to use the word analysis with students when I teach writing. I'll say, you need to explain how this proves your argument right, or how does this support what it is you're trying to say, or why does this matter? Why is this important? Give them these guiding questions, and then they'll say to me, well, it's important because XYZ, and I'm like, well, write that down. Put that in there. You didn't tell the reader that. The reader can't read your mind and know that. Because I know that those were struggles for me as a student when people said, oh, you have a weak thesis. I'm like, well, I barely know what a thesis is. I don't know how to make it stronger. Teaching them, like, what is a thesis? And what does that look like? What is a strong one? What is a weak one? How is it going to make my life easier if my thesis is more succinct and specific when I go to write the rest of the essay? And so I use those experiences that I had as a student, those struggles that I came across as a student, to inform how I teach and the language I use when I teach. I try to be more intentional with how I explain things and how I express things. Usually when I explain why something is there or why they should do something, students are like, oh, okay, I get it. And I'm happy to admit when something seems silly, like restating your thesis in a 2-page essay. But I'll say, but we need to get in the habit of doing it so that when we do write something longer, we remember to do that step. And so they're usually able to get on board with that if I explain why it needs to be there and give them clearer directions onto what it means to do that thing, rather than repeat the buzzwords that other teachers have used over the years and they've just kind of heard, maybe not completely understood, and just kind of said, yeah, okay. And so, especially when it comes to how I teach writing, that's something that I think really sets me apart.